Welcome to Dance with Oleg app. So today we would like to a little bit mention about the most fundamental things. So when you dance, if you focus on your feet, you will improve your dancing right away. So for your feet, we have 2 points for you. So point number one is your feet are always should have a 45-degree angle. So when your feet together, you have a beautiful heels together, toes apart. When you step forward, you have a beautiful angle between 2 feet. When your foot is moving, traveling, it has that beautiful opening, 45-degree angle. And if you're going backward, same idea. Or if you're going side. So it's the same for every dance. And number 2 point is to keep your feet always in contact with the floor. Imagine your foot is the brush and you drawing a beautiful lines on the floor. So if you have these 2 points, beautiful foot turnout, correct foot turnout, and the feet always connected to the floor, your dance will already automatically will look so much better. So let's go through the basic steps of a few different dances, and we're just gonna add only these two elements: feet turn out and the contact with the floor. That's how to improve. That's the way to get better. So for example, let's start with the American style rumba box step. So we have a side step together, we have forward, we have side, together, we have backward. So once we know the step structure, the first thing what we're gonna do, we'll organize our feet. So instead of having feet parallel or turned in, we will make sure our heels together, toes apart. So as we, with our body, send our leg to the side, we wanna make sure it lands into 45 correct degree angle between our feet. So our feet never here is here. Now, as we collect, we want to make sure our feet have a beautiful 45-degree turnout. And as our foot travels, we want to make sure it doesn't travel in, it travels out, almost like we want to show our heel. And as we step forward, you see we have this angle, our feet not straight parallel or not turned in. The same here, if we're going side, this foot having that beautiful turnout travels to the side, and as we collect like together, it has a 45-degree turnout and then change. So just by having only this element, it makes the step already looks much more beautiful. So the next level is we will make sure, number two, to have our foot always having contact with the floor. So rather than leaving the feet and making them a little bit sloppy, so try to have a pressure to the floor and always with the inside edge of the foot with our turnout, which we already did, we'll try to move our steps. Now we're collecting our like the feet with inside edge, with the contact with the floor, like we're drawing a beautiful lines, come together and then change. The same here for the forward. So we're having contact with the floor, collect, side. The same here. So when we're moving our legs, there is in essence two movements: how we collect the leg or how we send the leg to the step. So we collect the leg, send the leg to the step. And now we're gonna do this simple step and focus on two qualities: having feet turn out, that's number one, and having our feet always in contact with the floor. Let's see what happens. So we go quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. And your brain designed that it can do only one thing very good. But here we'll train ourselves to do a multitasking, thinking at least about two things. Later on, of course, when your feet and legs are working, we can add more actions. And then later your body will automatically follow this. Okay, let's go into international rumba. Same idea. So let's learn first basic step is go forward, replace back, then we have side, then we have back, forward, and then side. So once we know the step structure, number one, we will organize our feet. What we're gonna add? Secret number one, feet turn out. So we don't wanna have feet here, we wanna have feet here. Always turned out. So now we collect our feet, making sure in that transition moment feet are turned out. When we're taking a step forward, we're making sure our heel leading the foot. So we have our turned out. Then as we replace, we check our feet. Do we have turned out or the feet turned in on this parallel? Which one we want. And then we take a side step. We want to make sure feet are turned out. We collect our legs, making sure feet turned out. we're stepping back, feet turn out. So once we do this, we can do this basic step and just focusing only on the one simple action, making sure our feet are always turned out when they move forward, or they move side, or when they're moving back. Okay, once we got the level one covered, level two is going to be principle of keeping our feet always in contact with the floor. So now, as we move our foot, we don't want to be stepping from point A to point B. So we want to have a, with inside edge, imagining like our foot is a brush and drawing a beautiful line to the neutral position. From here, without any stop, with the contact with the floor, we send our leg to the position, to the forward walk. So always contact with the floor, contact with the floor, and of course turn out, which we already practiced before. Now from here, we'd like to send our leg from here to the side. So having our turnout, we have contact with the floor, pressing to the floor, like we're drawing a beautiful lines, and only then we're transferring weight. The same here. The way we collect our leg, we always have a contact to the floor and send it back. So the feet never leave the floor. So we always feel that connection to the floor. That's why we actually are wearing a dance shoes. So this kind of professional shoes, they allow your feet to slide and glide on the floor. Okay, once we do this, we're going to combine two actions together, two qualities. We'll watch out for our turnout and having feet contact with the floor and see how this our step looks better or not. Quick, quick, slow. And in your head, when you're going through that step, only think about these 2 points. Never mind your arms, your body weight. Only think about how much turnout you have and how much your feet are connecting to the floor. And this will automatically take your dance to the next level. Okay, if we take, for example, a cha-cha basic step, we can use exactly the same principles to improve cha-cha. So for example, we have a cha-cha basic 2, 3, cha-cha side, we have 2, 3, cha-cha-cha. So number one, what we're gonna improve? Of course, as you already know, we wanna make sure we have a feet turn out. So even we start with feet turn out, never here. So as we're stepping back, we want to make sure our feet have a turnout 45-degree angle. We replace forward, our feet turn out. We're stepping side cha, feet turn out, cha, feet turn out, side 1. So we have a beautiful angle between our feet. Doing rock step 2, feet turn out, 3, side, cha, cha, side. The number 2 quality is the same quality. We want to keep our feet always in contact with the floor, always with the inside edge, touching the floor, and only then we send it to your desirable position step. From here you replace, having contact with the floor, checking its other feet connected, always on the floor, having connection, never lift your feet with the turnout. 2, 3, cha, cha, cha. Now once we have our feet turn out, we have our connection to the floor, let's try just dance this step and pay attention to these 2 qualities are always with you. And 2, 3, cha, cha, 1, and 2, 3, cha, cha, 1, and the same if we're gonna go to the Samba basic walk, the same idea. So let's learn Samba basics. So we go forward, replace, back, replace. So once we know this step, let's pay attention first to our feet position. So we don't have a turn in, we want to have feet turned out. So we're stepping forward with the feet, and actually at this moment already your foot is turned out with the heel leading your foot. So when we land, we want to make sure our foot position correct. Now we collect our legs, we making sure that we have a turnout there as we replace. The same backward. We don't want to have our foot lost. We want to have our foot always have turnout, and when we land into this position, we have a beautiful turnout feet. And then we collect, same idea, replace. Now from here, the second quality is contact with the floor. Even at Samba, even we have bounce, you don't want to be stepping over. You want to still have with the inside edge of the toe, having contact with the floor. 1. Now as we collect this leg, always contact with the floor. 2. Now send your foot back, always have connection to the floor. And 1, even here collecting, 2. And now we're going to think about two qualities, our feet turnout and now how much our feet connected to the floor. And we're going to do Samba basic step. 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, there is much more qualities, much more layers to that step, but focus on the first, the main level. It's your feet. How much do you have a turnout and how much connection to the floor you have? And as you practice like this, your brain actually train yourself to multitask, to do a few things same time. Okay, practice these two qualities and see you in the next lesson.